Welcome to Night 1 of the 12 Days of Halloween 2019. Tonight, a woman cleaning out her late grandmother's cabin deep in the woods of North Carolina uncovers an old manuscript that hints of monstrous evil deeds from a paranormal realm. In The Twisted Ones, that's the book I'm reviewing tonight. Hello everyone, Thomas here, your host, as always. Thank you for joining me. A cabin in the woods. That's how so many tales of terror begin. A remote location in which the peace and calm of nature plays host to dark secrets and nightmarish evils. But horror is a genre that enjoys reinventing and recontextualizing its tropes, and The Twisted Ones is a wonderfully twisty story that takes us on a journey far beyond what the setup might lead us to suspect. For one thing, the novel, written by Ursula Vernon under her pseudonym T. Kingfisher, is an homage/sequel to a genuine horror classic, the 1904 story The White People by Arthur Machen. Now, Macon's story, which you do not have to have read in order to enjoy this book, but you can if you like, I'll leave a link below, describes a young girl's diary called The Green Book, in which she relates a series of frightening encounters with sinister cultish activities deep in the Welsh countryside. Supposedly, if you can pronounce the names of any 5 Welsh towns correctly, you will in fact summon a demon. The Twisted Ones takes us to rural North Carolina, where Melissa, a 30-something freelance editor who goes by the nickname Mouse, arrives with her very good dog Bongo at the cabin of her late grandmother, a hateful old shrew who became a bit of a hoarder late in life. Doing her best to tidy up the house in the forlorn hope that the property might be saleable, Melissa digs up a musty notebook from her long-suffering step-grandfather, Frederick Cotgrove, whom readers of The White People will instantly recognize as that story's principal narrator. Now, as in the Macon story, Cotgrove's notes describe his discovery of the Green Book and the disturbing secrets it holds. There are clues that what happened in Wales may be linked to similar paranormal activity right there in North Carolina. As we settle into Kingfisher's easygoing narrative, we're always alive to clues in the small details. Experienced horror readers will know that when we hear the strange knocking sounds of what may be a woodpecker deep among the trees, well, that's no woodpecker. Stories within stories are a difficult juggling act to pull off, but The Twisted Ones does it expertly, embedding Macon's ideas into Kingfisher's own mise-en-scene in such a way that it all feels like natural backstory. But an even more impressive feat is the way Kingfisher gives Melissa such a convincing first-person voice. She tells her story with abundant personality and a sense of humor that manages to steer well clear of the level of phony performative snark that many lesser writers might have resorted to, and which would have robbed the entire tale of any suspense. As disturbing manifestations begin, Kingfisher never loses focus, and 1 or 2 moments are solid nightmare fuel, mainly because we have followed Melissa so willingly down the rabbit hole that when the shocks come, they have the power to hit us just as hard as they hit her. But this is no mere haunted woods saga. As the sheer scope of what Melissa is truly faced with becomes apparent, The Twisted Ones grows into an epic of folk horror and dark fantasy that does Arthur Machen proud. Add to that some marvelous supporting players, like Foxy, the irresistibly salty hippie neighbor lady, who offer Melissa a sense of found family to make up for the real family she never felt a connection to, so that she won't have to endure what's out there alone. The Twisted Ones is the ideal folkloric chiller to curl up with on a cold autumn night. Just as long as you can ignore all those noises in the trees just outside your window. And that's all I have time for in this episode of SFF180. You guys know the drill. These are reviews. You will not always agree with me, but if you enjoyed watching, please hit that like button, share the video far and wide with all of your SFF reading friends, and above all, please subscribe if you have not done so. That is how the channel grows. You can also support the channel at my TeePublic store and at my Patreon, where recruits into Wink's Army get little perks like getting to see some of these videos early. I want to thank all of those wonderful people for their additional support. It's extremely helpful. I want to thank all of you guys for being the very best viewers in all of BookTube. I will see you tomorrow night for the next installment of the 12 Days of Halloween, and so until I see you then, spooky reading.